Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, CME Computer and IT Solutions.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 12 noon on Saturday in Hong Kong. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California. Thank you so much for being here.
Okay, some cybersecurity news today.
It's 3 items.
Yeah, Dropbox is dropping its password manager. So if you have passwords stored in Dropbox, it says password manager, start getting them out now.
They will phase it out, though. It's not like
they're going to just all go away, but it is something to think about.
Yeah. If you use Dropbox password managers.
Yeah. And Cliff.
Hey, Cliff.
Hi, Cliff.
We missed you last week.
Yep. And hey, Janie.
Hi, Janie. Welcome.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, Roger. Oh, Roger found us. Yay.
And
Don, hello.
Hi, Don.
Welcome.
Okay, so the FBI has identified Russian government cyber actors targeting network devices and critical infrastructure. One of their big ends is a flaw that's been fixed in Cisco routers. So if you've got any Cisco devices on your network, make sure to update the firmware or have your IT people update the firmware on them.
That's a good idea for all the devices, really, to have updates.
Yeah. I would
you've talked about this before, I know.
Yeah, just update, 2 things to protect yourself. Update and don't click.
No clicking.
Yes.
Speaking of which.
Yeah. Hey,
Cliff.
Whatever.
Okay.
I
don't know what he means by that, do you?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. Well,
tell us, Cliff.
We told you where we're from. We're from Thousand Oaks, California. Actually, I'm from Fullerton, but that's.
I'm from Ohio,
yeah.
So what?
Yep.
I'm not currently
that's
there.
That's what a lot of people from Ohio say.
Get on to your third item. Jeez.
Hi, Dawn. Just realized she's there too.
She is.
But so Microsoft updates. They just came out with some updates because they found a flaw that affects Windows 10 and Windows 11, as well as their servers and Edge. So
sounds like a big deal.
Yeah, so do an update for Windows and do a separate update for Edge.
Okay.
Now, one of those two, since they done both essentially back to back, I don't know which one did it, triggers an update for your Office products. And those want to get updated too, because they found a critical flaw. They say that no one's using it yet, but now that people know about that flaw,
they'll start
using it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Hey.
From Riverside.
Yeah.
Right on. Welcome. Glad you could join us.
So, tonight's episode will be about the Artemis Accords. We'll be back in 8.3 seconds. There's a link to that book in the description. If you want a signed copy of the book,
I don't know.
Write Pam at everydayspacer.com for details. Right down there. Yep, right there.
All right.
August 8th, Daniel had a suggestion for an episode, and he's not
even here yet.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Come to the show.
Yes. So we decided to delve into it tonight. The Artemis Accords. What are they? Who do they apply to? Why do we want to know about them? And maybe why are they created? These are the things that came to mind upon accepting this mission. Pam did the research on this one. If you learn something too, or if you know something that we don't know, please contribute. Pam, what did you find out?
please contribute.
Yeah.
I think the Artemis Accords were inspired by our return to the moon. When you read through them, though, the actual accords, they have much broader applications, as we shall see. I'm going to go over to the other page, and if you don't mind, Jeff, go ahead and share. Oh, we got more comments?
Daniel, he's actually here.
He's here, Daniel. We're doing Artemis Accords. Thank you for the inspiration.
Okay, there we go.
All right, so as usual, you go to do a search, and at one point, this did have a nice little, AI summary, but I did pull some pages from here, and I don't have a whole lot because it's really pretty easy to understand. There are these accords, and they're really not.
Artemis was the goddess of the hunt, therefore it's giving hunting territory in each other's countries, right?
Oh, well, that's an interesting idea. But as you see here, it's principles for a safe, peaceful, and prosperous future in space. And they don't really mention the moon in anything that I've seen here. Although, the Artemis is going to be, and Dawn called me this afternoon and said something about launching in April of next year.
Right. And Artemis is also the goddess of the moon, but not just the hunt. But.
Okay, well, that makes a little more sense. So, of course, this was started by NASA, although there were, in the U.S. Department of State, and 7 other initial signatory nations. Now, this was established in 2020. Many countries and private companies have conducted missions and operations around the moon. The Artemis Accords provide a common set of principles to enhance the governance of the civil exploration and use of outer space. Again, not mentioning the moon really, but I think it's a good idea because then you can apply it to the broader, arena of what's around us, around the Earth, what's in orbit around the Earth, that kind of thing. So they reinforce the commitment by signatory nations to the Outer Space Treaty, the Registration Convention, and the Rescue and Return Agreement. This is really important. A funny story, I was watching one of the Quantum Leap shows, and it's a new iteration of it. And they actually had an incident where I'm like, oh, that's the Rescue and Return Agreement from... Now, it was before that. But anyways, sort of a funny scene. They had to get the Mir space station, helping them to... up their oxygen anyway, if you watch them, you'll see that and you might think of it too. So did we get another comment?
Oh, no.
Okay. I thought I saw one. All right. Best practices and norms of responsible behavior for civil space exploration and use. Now, this is a really beautiful page, and they have a whole bunch of the flags from the countries. I don't think this is quite 56 of them now. A couple of people have signed up this year, like four countries have signed up. Yeah. This year, so there may be new additions at some point when you see this image again.
Yeah, the 4 this year. Oh, and Senegal is on there, so it's not in order of signing up. It's an alphabetic order.
Alphabetic. Okay.
So Bangladesh, is that on there? Yeah.
Norway's there.
Bangladesh. So they do have.
Maybe they are all there. Okay.
They do have the 4 that signed up this year.
Okay, it doesn't quite look like 56 to me, but maybe it is. All right. So these were good sources, and I think I've pulled up a few of them in tabs above here. But I think they have, they have really beautiful images, and the concept of it, it's not the official document, though. So they talk about transparency and interoperability. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. What does that really mean? It's basically... Well, let's see. Reasonable efforts to utilize current interoperability standards to develop new standards when necessary and to follow such standards. I think it has more to do with not making things so precisely bespoke for a particular spacecraft, but more able to, in fact, I know the military has gone to more commonly available vehicles, for example, so they can find parts when they're in other countries.
Well, and it's
so I don't know if that's what that means exactly. It doesn't really say much, but that's my grok of reading that.
And I do remember that they were talking about airlocks and stuff like that, so that vehicles from different countries could connect to other vehicles.
And Apollo 13 is certainly a good story about not making them too different from each other.
Right. Yeah.
I think we got another comment.
Yeah. So Daniel says, I bet a lot of it is based on SOLAS, which is safety of life at sea, which is a United Nations level agreement I believe.
That
Oh,
makes a
okay.
lot of sense,
Yeah.
especially when we come to emergency assistance like that. That's probably the same. If you are stuck out in space, the other countries who have signed have decided to say that, yeah, if we can help you, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Therefore, the Artemis Accords signatories commit to taking all reasonable efforts to render necessary assistance to astronauts in distress. And the signatories reaffirm their obligations under the Rescue and Return Agreement. Registration of space objects. And again, this is a really beautiful page. I do have another one that's a little bit more official. Registration is at the very core of promoting safety and sustainability. So I don't know exactly what they want you to register. If it's the spacecraft, I don't think they want you to register every nut and bolt. There's a lot of fasteners and stuff. But I guess time will tell. One of the things that this is supposed to be is a annual meeting to go over new ground, update things. I think things are changing a lot in this particular, area. So there's going to be a lot of things they're going to want to talk about. And maybe someday this will actually be some kind of binding document.
Right. But I think the registration is more along the lines of, what are you sending up there? What's its flight path? And if you dump something up there, what's its ephemeris? So that, so that you can avoid it.
Kind of makes me think of how the planes, log a flight plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so release of scientific data. I thought this was kind of interesting because, isn't that kind of the sort of thing you want to keep to yourself? But, of course, NASA has definitely shared, completely almost everything that NASA has acquired, they've shared with the whole entire world. I mean, it certainly is something the taxpayers have paid for, so it's basically available to us. But most of the rest of the world has availed themselves as well.
Once they share it to the American public, the whole rest of the world knows it too, because
especially now.
Yeah,
with the
but even back in the day, I mean, a newspaper or magazine can be bought by anyone.
That's true.
And it's not even so it's just that NASA always says that it's international sharing, but they're mandated to share with us. It's just international by default.
Yeah, and I think it's good. We actually saw the Landsat 8 launch, and of course, if something's happening in parts of the world, there's an opportunity for people to find out. And if a volcano erupts, I mean that's kind of important for the locals to understand and know about.
Well, and it's important for anyone downwind too.
Yeah. So the scientific data plan to release scientific results publicly, so that people around the world can benefit from the journey of exploration and discovery. And I think it's a great idea too for inspiring the public. Sometimes I think they get a little bored of, it's another launch.
Right.
Big whoop. Oh, SpaceX is doing another launch. Big whoop. The only time it gets exciting is when something blows up. So preserving outer space heritage. Yeah, I think we're going to want to put,
a dome over that.
Yeah.
In fact, almost every single science fiction story that I've read that takes place on the moon has a dome over that site.
Preserve historically significant sites and artifacts will be just as important in space as it is here on Earth. Maybe even more important. I mean, that certainly won't go away on its own. There's no erosion.
It will. Micrometeorites throw up dust when they hit the dust to land. Eventually, it'll go away.
There was actually something that hit pretty big that hit the moon not too long ago.
Yep.
Under the Artemis Accords, signatories intend to preserve outer space heritage. So maybe if somebody else gets up there before we do, they will put a dome around some of those important historical sites. Space resources. The ability to extract and utilize resources on the moon, Mars, and asteroids is critical. Here they actually mentioned moon, Mars, and asteroids. But again, it's not solely attached to the moon. They've kind of broadened this out. And I think this is part of the original, so any of the updates might be a little different. They're critical to support safe and sustainable space exploration and development. The Accords reinforce that space resources extraction and utilization can and should be executed in a manner that complies with Outer Space Treaty. Again, the Outer Space Treaty, that's actually from the 60s.
Yeah.
And support of safe and sustainable space activities. Yeah, we got another comment?
Yeah, Daniel says, I wonder if all the lunar rover track marks will be considered historically
That's a good question. Certainly some of them would be, near the end of its road.
Probably not until someone runs over them. Then there'll be a big, to do about it. Then they'll be protected. I mean,
Okay.
that's just my guess, just the way things tend to go.
And it kind of depends on who gets there first.
Right.
So here's a new word to me: deconfliction of space activity. So kind of
Well, it's kind of like
tells you what it is. But...
Yeah. Well, the Outer Space Treaty, which we signed, and no one who would be opposing us signed. So the Outer Space Treaty says no weapons in space.
Yeah, and I think it has something to do with it doesn't really belong to any particular person. It's
right.
Sort of all of ours.
Right. I think some of that wording came out of the got removed for the Artemis Accords because basically, according to the Outer Space Treaty, if you bring back a gallon of helium-3, then all of the countries who signed up for it get a share of it.
Okay.
Because you don't own it.
That
Everyone
seems
owns
odd.
it, even though you brought it back. And that's.
I mean, a gallon split up by how many? Who knows?
Well, I'm just using an example.
Yeah.
So so that's wording up that we've wanted gone from it for a long time.
Maybe we should look at that Outer Space Treaty at some point.
Yeah.
And I think there's another comment. If you don't mind checking.
Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff.
NASA, if they patent the battery-powered drill they invented, they could have made a huge profit. But it was free knowledge. Now everywhere. Just one of the many things we take for granted.
And NASA's not really allowed to do that kind of thing.
Yeah. One of the reasons for funding NASA is that they do research and we benefit.
And boy, have we benefited.
Yeah. We've already
so many ways.
Yeah, we've already paid for that research in our taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not allowed to patent anything.
Mm.
In fact, anything that NASA invents is public domain.
Mm.
That's why when you go to APOD, any NASA produced pictures on there are public domain.
Yeah, I think that's not everything. I think it doesn't apply to every single thing. So I would actually talk to a lawyer about it if you're going to use something. But there are definitely things that are in the public domain, and I think there are specific sites that have, these images, these videos, these sometimes it's audio as well, are in the public domain, available to use, common, whatever. I think we got another comment actually.
Oh,
Cliff came back with.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant. Okay.
Okay. Cool. So this deconfliction, I think. Let's see what that is about. Artemis Accords also provide for the operational implementation of important obligations, the Outer Space Treaty, including those related to due regard and harmful interference. Artemis Accords signatories will provide public information regarding the location and general nature of their operations. So that might be why China and Russia hasn't signed it yet. In addition, signatories commit to seek to refrain from any intentional actions that may create harmful interference with each other's use of outer space. So, do what you will, harm none. Good. So they'll do so through safety zones in which signatories intend to provide notification of their activities and commit to coordinating to avoid harmful interference. Okay.
Yeah. This is the safety zones.
Yeah.
Is one of the things that could be exploited. If you find a resource on the moon, say, that you want to monopolize, you put a bunch of facilities around it and basically make safety zones that overlap so that no one else can get to it. That's one of the things that...
But again, this is a non-binding thing, right. So
yeah,
it's kind of a weird document, actually.
Oh, Roger says, deconfliction. Military coordination of flights, maneuvers, etc. between groups, especially in areas where overlapping irrations are occurring in order to reduce risk. Yeah, basically, don't point guns at each other, essentially. Don't fly weapons toward each other.
Seems pretty basic.
Yep. Daniel says harmful interference is an FCC term also.
Okay. Interesting. And thank you so much for checking into that and sharing with us. We love our audience for just that reason. All right. Orbital debris. This is really important, folks. Because if we have too much stuff, like in orbit around the Earth, we won't be able to go anywhere. Preserving a safe and sustainable environment in space is critical for both public and private activities. Yeah.
Oh, Roger, typoed. The overlapping iterations, overlapping operations.
Operations, okay.
Yeah.
So the Accord signatories commit to plan for the mitigation of orbital debris. Yes, good. Including the safe, timely, and efficient disposal of spacecraft at the end of their missions, and try not to make more.
Yeah.
So this is actually a little more official document. I think it actually has a little bit more information. Really good stuff, though. A little bit easier to read.
You might
not
want
quite as
to
pretty,
make a
though.
link to that once you're done.
Yeah.
In the comments so that people can get it.
Sounds good. But as you see, implementation, peaceful purposes, transparency, interoperability. It's basically the same kind of information with a little bit of extra stuff like final provisions. That's a little bit extra.
Yeah. Well, and
this
includes
scope was kind of
the official wording too, I would imagine.
They're both pretty
close.
Pretty close, yeah.
But you notice all of the legalese looking stuff in here.
Right. Like I said, it's a little bit more of an official document in my mind. The other, NASA just put this out with lots of pretty pictures so people would enjoy it and read it. But I think this is just as enjoyable too, especially if you're into this sort of thing. So yeah, recognizing their mutual interest in the exploration and use of outer space for peaceful purposes and underscoring they don't really say it's just about the moon. So I think it's great. I think it's got its broader purposes. Of course, it would include the moon, but this could potentially have been inspired by us going back to the moon. So yeah, I didn't quite find that part in there anywhere, but so ushering in a new era of space exploration, more than 50 years after the historic Apollo 11 moon landing, and more than 20 years after the establishment of continuous human presence on the International Space Station. Yeah, sharing. So all this great stuff, building, considering all kinds of good stuff. And here's where they talk about the treaties. Treaties on principles governing the activities of states in the exploration and use of outer space. That might be the Outer Space Treaty. They've just truncated the words. Do we have a comment?
Yes. Daniel says, it's kind of notable that China and Russia have not signed on to the Artemis Accords. Yes, I agree, Daniel.
Yeah.
The Artemis Accords are meant to only bind the ones who would play nice with us. So I'm not, I think that they're nice, but that's all I think about it. It's
the Accords?
Yeah, they're nice, but they don't really mean anything because anyone.
I don't think you can take it to court.
Right. Well, not only that, but it is not only are they not binding, but no one who would be a threat to us, to our use of space, would care about the Accords anyway. So I don't see it as great. It just means that we agree to put ourselves at a disadvantage to those who oppose us. That's fine. But, and here's the thing. Russia has been very poor at getting back into space. China hasn't really done a good job of it either. So it's just basically showing that, that those of us who are getting into space, us and a few other countries, plan to play nice with each other.
Yeah.
So that's kind of good. I mean, but.
And I think there's an out if, in fact, the other ones don't play nice. There's a way to get around this because it's non-binding. All right. So they do reference a whole bunch of these things, including moon and others. I think that's all one thing, this Treaty on Principles. In other words, the Outer Space Treaty. So there we go. There's the big, long title for it and what everybody calls it, the Outer Space Treaty.
Yeah, 1967.
1967, yes. And here's the agreement on rescue of astronauts, the return of astronauts, and the return of objects launched into outer space. So that's a big, long title, too. A little bit later on, 1968, Rescue and Return Agreement. So that's the nickname for it.
Which is basically the maritime agreement applied to space.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense. I mean, if you want your guys back, you should return our guys, too.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the maritime agreement, except that there's only two countries making ships at the time that was made. So, it wasn't really And here's the thing. It's not useful now, but in the future, it will be. Because there's not enough people up there to provide aid.
That's true. And I don't know who all signed those.
Now,
either one of them, really.
Now should, with ISS, no matter who's trapped up there, SpaceX can launch something, to get them. The Russians may or may not be in a position to launch something.
Well, there's typically a Soyuz attached to it.
Right.
So.
Unless something goes wrong with it.
Unless something goes wrong with it, yeah.
Yeah. So, so it's in the best interest of both countries to keep that going for as long as possible, of providing rescue, because if nothing else, you get talking points, you get publicity for it. I mean,
we saw something recently with
Elon Musk, sending his.
I was talking about the other one, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, getting the people off of the ISS that have been trapped up there for.
Yeah, this one happened more recently when the Chinese were. Yeah, and the Filipinos saved them. They pulled them out of the water and saved them. Do we have a comment?
The ship. Yeah, not spaceship.
Right.
I was thinking in space.
Okay.
Cliff, the Chinese and Russians are also learning from what we have learned and are sharing internationally. Yes, I know. But here's the thing about that, Cliff. And it's something that I thought about a lot in the 70s when essentially Japan was copying everything that we had. They don't do that so much anymore, but that was in the 70s and 80s. That's what was going on. And so was Russia, Soviet Union at the time, is that the innovator always has a head start, because the person copying has to spend their research copying something that's now old, whereas the innovator can, is on the next step.
Fail fast forward.
And it's accelerating. So the gap between us and the Soviets got bigger and bigger because they were spending all of their time copying older and older stuff. So I don't think it's bad that the other countries benefit from it. I think with technology now, the speed at which they can copy something is much higher. Back in the 70s, we give them a new capacitor, and it takes them like 3 years to figure out how we made it. Another couple of years to figure out how they can make it. By that time, we're on transistors.
Yeah, not to worry about it, in other words.
Yeah.
And I actually know from working at Boeing, one of my bosses was sent to Japan to help them create basically a Delta II for their purposes. Yeah, we got another comment.
Right, yeah.
Great.
So I want to. Hey.
So, and I think this one's pretty important too. Convention on International Liability for Damage Caused by Space Objects. If your satellite rams into my satellite, well,
this is what destroyed. For the longest time, this is what killed private space. Because the FAA in the U.S. would not allow launch licenses because the U.S. would be responsible for any damage caused by it. So it took a lot of work. In fact, I was there with, and saw the people working to create, the U.S. laws to allow people the regulations to allow people to launch into space. So, so that was, they tried a lot of ways to get around it, launching from international waters, but then they'd say, you're a U.S. citizen, right? It's an American. That's, so it, you couldn't get around it. Daniel, the Soviets pretty much made identical copies of the supersonic transport Concorde plane, and and there was a copy of the space shuttle. Yes.
The Buran.
The Buran, yeah. And it was very, very obviously a copy of the space shuttle.
Oh yeah. But it never got anywhere. It never went anywhere.
Yep. I don't understand.
Ukrainian?
Yeah, I don't know of any Ukrainian space program. I don't know what.
Oh, are they a signatory? We've got a whole list of signatories right over here. I do believe the Ukraine is on the list.
Yeah.
And they've got dates, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah. So Cliff says, hey, there are exact copies of a car here in Oz, and they are copying everything. Yep.
Huh.
But not with the same quality. That's another thing, is that, you know, there are corners cut to throw a copy of something out there fast. Braun looked like a smaller space shuttle. Yes, I think it did not have engines in the vehicle itself.
I don't remember.
It used boosters for all of its ascent. It might have had some small engines, but, you know, not the main engines that like the shuttle had. You know, to assist in the.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember reading about it and seeing pictures, and it was basically mothballed.
From my
forever.
understanding, it was mostly a glider meant for re-entry.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
I guess my whole point for this paragraph here is that we do in fact have true treaties and other things that this is based upon. But I just don't know that this is a document that's going to really have teeth.
Yeah. Oh, Cliff had a quick comment too, back on the, no quality at all for the copies. But yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to undo
That's okay.
Roger's comment when Cliff's came up, and I clicked on his while you were talking.
Okay. All right. So like I said, there's a little bit more here. Yeah, commit to the following principles, and we reviewed those. Of course, this covers the purpose and the scope. The purpose of the Accords is to establish a common vision via a practical set of principles, guidelines, and best practices to enhance the governance of the civil space exploration and use of outer space with the intention of advancing the Artemis program, and that being the one that's going to the moon. So that's kind of the basic idea, and again, implementation. But see, they've got it. It's kind of bullet pointed out a bit more. Yeah. Not in every one of them, but in some of these are.
The Buran only flew once. Yeah. Basically, same way our test shuttle flew. Basically, on top of a basically dropped off a, off of a bomber.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since I read anything about it, so probably Cliff's probably right. All right, so again, it develops some of this a little bit more. I think they're just going to be tweaking this every year, but yeah, I got a tab for that too. Peaceful purposes, transparency, interoperability. Let's see. I think that a lot of this is the same wording even. Oh, okay. It's fuel storage, delivery systems, landing structures. Like I said, I think we were talking about how they might, in other words, if you go to the gas station, you don't have to have a particular nozzle to use. They're all basically the same.
Right.
Signatories commit to use reasonable efforts to utilize current interoperability standards for space-based infrastructure to establish such standards when current standards do not exist or are inadequate, and to follow such standards.
Right. Yeah. Like if we launch something with our own docking ring that couldn't attach to, say, the ISS's docking ring, well, you can't really do much rescue that way.
It's sort of a common sense thing, I think.
Yeah. Buran was not the Challenger. No, but it was based off of the space shuttle.
Yeah. Emergency assistance, registration of space objects. I guess that first one was the one that was more spelled out, but like these, they're just a little different idea, but mostly the same kind of wording.
Right.
Preserving outer space heritage, space resources. This might be a little different. No, I guess it's the same.
Yeah.
There's one at the end here that is, see how much more there is to this one?
Yep.
So I will share this link at the end. Size and scope of the safety zone. It's just more well developed. Yeah, there's a lot more to this one. But I think this is a good place to start so that you kind of, walk before you run kind of a thing. Orbital debris. Final provisions. I don't think that's in the other one. Building on any consultative mechanisms and pre-existing arrangements. You're going to want to read this.
Yeah.
Okay, though, maintain the original text of these accords. All right. So you can always find one in the United States.
Sorry, Roger.
What do we got?
There was the Concorde ski and then the shuttle ski.
Oh, God.
Nice,
And
Roger.
the original was done on October 13th, 2020. And the rest of this is pretty much some of the people who signed it.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the dates. So that's kind of fun for Australia. And every year they're picking sort of the person that's going to represent the country.
Mm-hmm.
And the dates, sometimes they're in, well, they must have provided their own pages for these. That's what this is about.
That's signature pages. And they're probably
For Japan.
in alphabetical order per date. So, oh, and that's a different one.
A couple people for Japan. The Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. The United Arab Emirates. I love how they put the dates. Some of them are this way, some of them are that way.
Well, most of them are probably European. Yep.
And we got one more. For the United States, James Bridenstine. It's actually an NSS guy. All right, so this is basically a revisit of it. Let's see what year. Artemis Accords signatories group, method of operations. Like I said, I think this is a meeting of, after 2020. Where does it say? Maybe it's just talking about meeting.
Yeah.
Cited by consensus of the Artemis Accords signatory group's principal Milan, Italy. Here it is, 2024. So there's probably going to be a document like this generated for each year that they meet. So there's probably other ones out there. I just didn't happen to find them by today. And Everyday Spacer is sponsored by CME Computer and IT Solutions. If you're local, call us up. We can come to you or you can come to us. And if you're remote, well, there's some things we can do for you too.
I can remote them.
Yeah. And Dawn was telling me about this Astra's Guide to Artemis earlier today. And I think she was going to do some updates. So let's see if anything changes there. NASA returns to the moon. And the mission is to land people on the moon by 2025. I think it's going to be next year. Using humans and robots to explore more of the lunar surface than ever before, Artemis is the first step in establishing a base on the moon. So there's lots of good pictures in here, lots of great information, and this goes a long way. The thing is right up here. So you have lots of fun stuff to explore. Maybe I'll give you a copy of that as well.
That link, yeah.
So here's our list of the signatories by date. And then I think it's also in alphabetical. So if they were all like on the 13th of October, then they put them in alphabetical. So we've got the first 8 of them. Because, that was later in 2020. But there it is, Ukraine, signed in November of 22. So they came on really soon after too. But these were the ones at the first meeting. Australia, Canada, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, UAE, UK, US. And then South Korea, New Zealand, Brazil, Poland. Everybody wants to get on the act. And you can see the dates. Some of these were in 2020. And if you remember, that was at the height of everything being closed. I guess they had time.
Yeah.
Israel came on in 2022. Romania, Bahrain.
I'm certainly glad Romania signed it because their space program was awesome. I'm sorry, folks. I'm Romanian, okay?
So it looks like maybe they were meeting at another, well, I don't know. This could have been one of the meetings, an annual meeting, because a bunch of them signed at once. But I don't think they have to be, I don't think they have to sign at the meeting, the annual meeting to tweak this thing.
Yeah, it's just that probably, there's a photo op to signing that at the meeting. So
I suppose so. And I think I did see something about any country can, go, hey, we want to be part of the Artemis Accords. And then I don't know exactly what the hoops are. I didn't really see that in this research.
I think you just have to sign it
maybe.
And know who to send the signature to.
They were just a piece of paper from the other ones that were attached to that.
Right.
So but even up until
a lot of them in 23. Look at that. A bunch in 22, but even more in 23.
Yeah.
And Cliff says, I've stood under both the space shuttle and the Concorde and on top of the Artemis launch tower. Oh, and under it, but not when it took off. Yeah.
Oh, good. So, I mean, even up to this year, we've got 4 from this year who have signed. And how many countries are there in the whole world? 100.
I don't know.
A couple hundred, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this, 2024. All kinds of people are getting on board. And I think it's a smart idea. I think it's a smart idea to say, yes, we support this, and basically sign to it. So, yeah, we've got quite a few in 2024 as well.
Yep.
And they can certainly continue to sign up.
Yeah.
So Panama, is Panama a country?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Austria, Thailand. Where are the last 4 down here? Finland, Bangladesh, Norway, and Senegal.
Daniel says, I think the Artemis Accords should be applied on spaceship Earth as well. Yeah.
I see the potential for that.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so 4 signed up this year.
And all over the first, January, April, May, and as close as last month, July 24th. So they'll be, watch for more. There'll be people, countries adding themselves to this. Did I see where? Let's see, international partners advanced cooperation with the first signings. This is pretty much from the beginning. Yeah, October 13th, 2020. What was the significance of this one? I wanted to share with you here. Founding members. That was the list of, and that's also in alphabetical. Good. Establishing. I thought it was interesting that James Bridenstine was part of this, so that's cool. But here are the principles: peaceful exploration, transparency. Again, just kind of common sense stuff. Additional countries will, here it is. Okay, additional countries will join the Artemis Accords in the months and years ahead as NASA continues to work with its international partners to establish a safe, peaceful, and prosperous future in space. So there's hope. Working with the emerging space agencies as well as existing partners and well-established space agencies will add new energy and capabilities to ensure the entire world can benefit from the Artemis journey of exploration and discovery. Learn more here, and I think that's what I clicked on to get me here. And it looks like it's a bunch of articles on this. So there's probably stuff about the actual, the mission as well, Artemis. And way more stuff down here. Oh, and they talk about what this is about. Points beyond the moon and signifies our efforts. Blue Earth Crescent. I like these that talk about the logos and what they mean. Shows the missions from our audience perspective. From Earth we go, back to Earth. All that we learn and develop will return. This also visualizes Artemis bow as the source from which all energy and effort is sent. The moon is our next destination and a stepping stone from Mars. It is focus of all Artemis efforts. Red trajectory moves from the left to the right through the crossbar of the A, opposite that of Apollo. Okay, thus highlighting the distinct differences in our return to the moon. The trajectory is red to symbolize our path to Mars. The A symbolizes an arrowhead from Artemis quiver and represents launch. So cool. Lots of good articles there. And that's what I basically have for the Artemis Accords. Now, I kind of have some thoughts at the end. I'm really not clear on the actual usefulness of the Accords. It seems like a memorandum of understanding, which I guess people use in business. You can take us off, or I can. It's sort of an idea of what the contract will look like, an outline, if you will. I did like the part where it says, with a focus on activities conducted in support of the Artemis program. So, the common vision is of the U.S. landing on the moon next. So, like I said, I'm not entirely clear on the actual usefulness of it because a lot of things like this are just kind of out there. I don't know that they're going to do much.
I don't know what you're saying there. That was I talking about it.
Do we have a previous comment from?
Are you? Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your part.
Yep. So some stellar events this week, August 22nd through August 29th. The Globe at Night project continues for a couple of more days. It ends Sunday, August 24th. This is the last. Oh, is the last. Yeah, it ends August 24th.
You had it
for this round. Of course,
round.
there'll be another round in it.
Pretty much once a month and for 10 days each month.
Yeah. In the northern hemisphere, look for Hercules or Cygnus. In the southern hemisphere, look for Sagittarius. And you go out, you take a picture and upload it to their website. If it's on your phone, you just do it through an app on your phone, and help them map the light levels in your area for their dark sky map, so that they can keep their dark sky map updated. August 23rd is a new moon. August 24th, the moon is at descending node. August 25th, the moon is on the equator. August 26th, Mars and the moon are in conjunction, and Mars is 2.8 degrees north of the moon. Hang on. Sorry. August 27th, Spica is 1.1 degrees north of the moon. August 29th, the moon is at apogee. Also on August 29th, Friday night show. We'll do another episode inspired by our audience.
We actually have several we can do.
Yep. Find us Fridays at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and the Everyday Spacer YouTube channel.
What inspires you the most for the coming week? And I see Daniel posted something, and I just learned about this too. The black moon, sort of like the blue moon, only refers to a second new moon in the month instead of a second full moon in the month. I think it's kind of a new term. Is that what you understand too, Daniel?
Yeah. Let's see. Black moons are rare and not official astronomical terms, but they offer exceptionally dark skies, making them ideal for stargazing and astrophotography. Well, except that a black moon isn't any darker than a normal new moon, because
but to have dark. 2 in a month, that's kind of neat.
It's nice, but that's the thing about like a blue moon. There's, it's not any bluer or brighter than a regular moon. Black moon isn't any bluer or brighter or blue, any darker or blacker than a regular new moon. So,
but here's the thing, a blue moon, we all kind of know what it is, and somebody at some point established that, and people are probably going, oh, a blue moon, what the hell does that mean? I think at some point people will be like, oh, cool, 2 new moons in a month, and they call it the second one the black moon. Okay, I don't know. Is it a big deal? Well, is it not?
I guess it will get people to talk about it, and it will filter astronomy down to the, what's your sign, folks. So,
which is fine. Yeah. Because I think that's a gateway.
Yeah.
What's your sign? Have you seen it in the night sky?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cliff's good. Scorpio, yeah.
It's above us now at night in the evening.
Oh, I bet it's upside down there too.
I think he'd argue.
No, I think it's the opposite of ours.
No.
When we see Scorpio in the sky, I wonder.
Well, I don't think he considers it upside down.
No, I know he doesn't, but what is okay? Yeah.
The next blue moon will be May 31st, 2026. Yep. Blue moons defined by the second blue moon in a calendar month are relatively rare.
So both are kind of rare. So now we might be hearing about a black moon as well as a blue moon.
Yep.
All right. So if you or someone has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Join us again next Friday, August the 29th. Are aliens out there? Would they know if we exist? Why would they come to Earth? This will be a discussion speculating these questions. Remember, we have no expertise in this area. We can ask questions, though.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has the answers, and if they do, they're not saying. I
see another comment.
Yeah,
another telescope. I saw that on Facebook.
How much rain have you gotten this week, Cliff?
He can see Scorpio, so it's pretty good.
But I'm just thinking, they've got blue moon for the full moons, black moon for the second,
and then don't forget the blood red moon.
Yeah. What about now? Are they going to have a term for the first quarter moon in the month now? Maybe chartreuse moon.
Oh, here we go. A black and blue moon is what Ralph. Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. So, anything else from you?
No, I've caused enough damage.
Yeah, I'm good. And we will continue to watch for your comments. Until then, we had Daniel and Cliff and Hein Terry, and I know Dawn was here, and
Janie's here.
Oh, and Roger made it. He's been not meeting us lately. Well, I think he's been able to see but not comment.
Yeah.
Who else? Did I miss anybody?
Like
Dawn was here.
I mentioned Dawn and Janie.
Janie, right? I don't remember.
Sherry.
Scott. Sherry was here.
Yeah, Sherry.
Excellent.
New person. From not too far away.
Yep.
Well, okay. Thousand Oaks to Riverside.
It's closer
not
than Ohio.
Close, but yeah, it's at least in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
Ish.
Right. Oh. And we got something new.
Oh, Roger says Artemis will be successful if it evolves into something like North European division of drilling rights in the North Sea rather than the South China Sea scraping over oil and gas, possibly a series of wars. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, we got more. Guess we're here until we answer the questions.
Or like the ITU division of spectrum rights.
ITU?
International something or other, basically giving rights to the radio spectrum on Earth.
Okay.
Only really matters for like, there you go.
He got it. Yeah. International telecommunication.
Yeah.
Okay.
And mostly for space stuff or for countries bordering on each other.
Okay. All right. Oh, and Naomi. Naomi was here. Hey. Yes.
Thank you so much, Pam and Jeff.
Oh, cookie. At this hour? What are you making? And more emojis from Hi Jerry.
For space emojis.
Yeah, space emojis. All right, folks. Have a fabulous week. We will see you next Friday. And we'll talk about aliens. We have no idea what they are, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So any questions that you guys have, any comments that you guys have, because we don't have a lot on it, but your participation will make it much more interesting.
Much more interesting. It's always more interesting when you're here. Yep. All right. See you later. Good night.
Good night.